Homeland Security Committee's Alex Padilla. Senator Padilla, thank you so much for being back on the show. Appreciate it.
Good to see you again, Hallie.
Sure. So let me start with what we just teed up here with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Do you believe, you sit on the Homeland Security Committee, do you believe the benefits of the Speaker's trip outweigh potentially creating new threats from China?
Look, I believe this, that it is not up to China to dictate where the Speaker of the House of Representatives can travel, and that goes for anywhere in the world. And whether it's in Taiwan or anywhere else, standing up for democracy is always the right thing to do.
Have you told the Speaker that you support her in that move?
She doesn't need to ask me. I don't need to tell her. She knows.
Of course
she
not.
knows.
Californians didn't know if you had those interactions. Let me ask you about a different interaction, and that is one with your colleague, Senator Kyrsten Sinema, who, as you know, is the potentially critical linchpin here to getting done the bill that you and your colleagues want to see get done, and that is on climate and health care and tax reconciliation, et cetera. What is the latest on the status of conversations with her? Is she asking about things like that tax provision that she has indicated she has previously opposed?
Look, there's so much good in the reconciliation proposal that I do feel good that it's going to get done over the next several days. Now, you're asking about Senator Sinema. If I've gotten to know her at all, I know this much. She's somebody who reads the language of the bill and will crunch the numbers. So she hasn't asked me about specific tax elements or seeking amendments or whatnot. But again, I do think that there's so much good in this that affects not just the cost of health care for working families in California and across the country, reducing the cost of prescription drugs. But when we talk about the climate provisions, we see the McKinney fire in Northern California, the largest already this year, and wildfire season just getting started. Arizona is in a similar boat, whether it's drought, whether it's extreme heat, shortage of water, those sorts of things. So a lot for me to like about the bill, a lot for Senator Sinema to like about the bill.
Given what you described, Senator, as the amount of good, as you put it, that is in this bill, would you be okay then if, for example, some of the things that Senator Sinema has previously opposed end up coming out of the bill? They're not make or break, and I'm thinking specifically of that tax provision. Would you be okay getting on board with something that's a little bit different than it looks right now?
Look, we will see. I don't want to deal with hypotheticals. If we just look at the big categories here, can we take significant action to bring down the cost of health care? Not just prescription drugs, but access to health care, including the ACA subsidies. That would be a huge win, not just for us, but for working families across the country. And in the process, making a historic investment in addressing climate change. It's not just wildfires in California and elsewhere in the West. You look at the flooding that's happening in Kentucky, and this is less than a year when they had these devastating tornadoes in Kentucky outside of quote-unquote tornado season. So extreme weather events are happening. If weather patterns are changing, it's because our climate is changing, and we have to do something about it.
Let me ask you about a lot of the wheels in motion today as it relates to access to abortion. You have the president's executive order. You have a bill that you're sponsoring to protect doctors. You have Senator Tim Kaine proposing a bill that would federally codify protections under Roe. But your Democratic colleague, Senator Richard Blumenthal, we caught up with him at NBC. He told us he's not going to support that bill. Listen.
I think giving that power to politicians in robes is as bad as giving it to state legislatures, because they've indicated they're going to cut back and, in fact, eliminate those rights.
Are you at all concerned that the work that you and your colleagues and the president are doing is moot as long as there's a Supreme Court and state legislatures who want to do away with access to abortion?
Look, Democrats have been fighting since before Dobbs, and especially since the Dobbs decision by the Supreme Court, to protect a woman's right to an abortion, if that's their choice, and the right to abortion care. It shouldn't be a state-by-state right. It should be codified into federal law. We've tried that. Republicans blocked it. We've tried to make it clear that women have the right to travel across state lines if they need to get the care that they need. Republicans have blocked that. We've tried to codify the right to contraception. Republicans have blocked that. Republicans are continuing to obstruct even these protections for doctors, nurses, other healthcare providers in states where abortion is legal. And so we're continuing the fight here in Congress, but I am absolutely encouraged by the voters of Kansas who turned out in record numbers yesterday to uphold the right in the state of Kansas. I think it is a strong message that everybody should heed as we approach the November elections.
Before I let you go, in the limited time we have left, I want to do kind of a quick lightning round on two things. One, as it relates to your party writ large. The other, as it relates to something that I know is important to you in California. Two top House Democrats, Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney, have been forced into a face-off in the midterms because of, as you know, some of the redistricting. There were some interesting responses in a debate last night when it came to President Biden and 2024. I want to play a piece of it.
Should President Biden run again in 2024?
Too early to say. It doesn't serve the purpose of the Democratic Party to deal with that until after the midterms.
Ms. Maloney.
I don't believe he's running for re-election.
Maybe you can give a clear answer here, Senator. Should the president be on your party's ticket come 2024?
Look, I've heard the President Biden say it's his intention to run, and if he runs, I will support him absolutely. But I also believe 2024 is 2024. We have midterm elections less than 100 days away. So much at stake: abortion care, and so much more that we've got to stay focused and we've got to be ready.
I can't let somebody from California go without asking for your reflections on the loss of a legend, Vin Scully, who obviously has died overnight, we learned. Somebody who's super important, I know, to people in that state, not just Dodgers fans, but people who love baseball.
Yeah, no, thank you for asking, Hallie. You know, I'm a baseball fan. I grew up a Dodger fan, as a kid growing up in Los Angeles in the 80s during Fernando Mania. Dodger fan, listening to Vin Scully, his smooth voice, his storytelling. He was a legend and will be absolutely missed, not just for Dodger fans, baseball fans, but the sports world and beyond.
Senator Alex Padilla, thank you for being with us. Coming up.
Thank you, Hallie.
Harassed just for doing their jobs. How